By federal standards, 6% of the state lacks access to high-speed internet. FCC data showed in 2017 the gap widened all across the valley, including in Union County, where an estimated 21% lacked such access. Why or why not is the availability of broadband internet critical in rural parts of Union County, and what steps, if any, should county government take to address this issue?
The issue of lack of broadband is really quite varied and very important to be able to bring it into the region. One of the impacts is, of course, the inability for people to connect in the world the way other parts, particularly the more urban parts of the world, are. I've had experiences when I was at City Council of Governments and working with small communities that are already stressed for staff. They're already short on staff, but they have dial-up capability only. And so therefore, as our world's interconnection changes, more and more, even our state is requiring that you download information from policy to forms, and you upload information, which is a massive disadvantage to our local governments or our colleges or our businesses. That, and we have Geisinger and EVAN, and as we in rural Pennsylvania in particular want to be able to have better health access because of communicating through the internet with doctors, with information, it's critical that we have this to be able to stay abreast of providing the best medical care. But one of the first things I learned when I moved back to the area in 2003 is it goes beyond just the direct impact. It's also that our bigger institutions, our colleges, our universities, our health, our bigger businesses want to attract the best in the world to the area. And lack of broadband is keeping even independent entrepreneurs who could easily be in this area contributing so much to our region in terms of their thought processes, the access they bring to resources. It keeps them out. And it's not talked about very much, but I have heard it talked about, and I think it's a real concern. Now, I understand the reason why we don't have it is really geographical, that just as cell phone towers are on the tops of the mountain ridges, so too the communication is through microwave or fiber optics, which are lines that are put under the ground, which really in a rural area is just prohibitively expensive to do the fiber optics. So you need to use radio waves or, being able to make the beam connection from one structure to another is challenging in a large rural area. I know, having been at CEDACOG, that this has been a conversation for at least the past 5, 6, 7 years. There have been attempts at the entire regional level to be able to figure out how to bring broadband in. I know Union County, as well as other counties, have taken some initiative on their own to be able to hire engineers to look at what's needed, what the cost would be, how far it would reach. But it is a massive information, economic, human resources detriment to not have it in our region, and it's very important that we do so.
Union County Commissioners went 8 years without a tax increase to the general fund before a slight increase entering 2017. The board held the line in the 2 budget years since. In what scenarios, if any, do you envision a tax increase as unavoidable, and do you foresee that playing out over the coming 4-year term?
I don't have enough knowledge of every element of our budget to be able to answer that question with certainty. But in talking to the commissioners, as I thought about running, of course I asked them, what's up? Where is it that we are going to be having some challenges ahead of us, and how do you suggest that we meet them? I know that Great Streams Commons is going to be something that we've continually refinanced, and at some point we probably won't be able to continue to refinance it unless we have good businesses there. But I have not been able to pick up that there is a crisis looming that is going to require a tax increase in the foreseeable future. But I will certainly be looking to try to make sure that that doesn't happen.
What do you believe to be the most pressing issue facing Union County residents, and do you have a plan to address it?
The most pressing issue. Boy. Here's something that's in my field of energy expertise, clean energy expertise. I started and for 15 years ran the Energy Resource Center at City Council of Government. And while I have a lot of other policy and program management experience at the federal, state, and local level, I have really focused on assisting our region become a center for renewable and efficient energy technology and expertise. And people who know me and know what I've done in the region know that I'm a proponent of solar. But I've always been concerned about solar and its land use impacts should big utility scale solar begin to enter our region. Big utility scale solar, which takes, we've all seen pictures probably out in the desert or in North Carolina or other places, where it just fields, acres and acres of the solar panels. And I know that we've got a great Union County land use plan, but that's not law, that's simply a resolution. And it really will come down to local ordinances and local zoning, and if there isn't local ordinances and local zoning, then what is the county doing about land use and protecting it? And what I've learned in the last month is that there have been several very large solar developers that have been sending letters and meeting with farmers in Union County with the purpose of being able to aggregate farmland to be able to then build very large solar fields. And I think one of the most important things about our county and a huge underpinning of our county, not only for the agricultural benefits it has, the economic benefits directly agricultural brings to our local economy, but how it underpins recreation and tourism and our whole quality of life. It's of concern to me that there are large utility scale developers coming into our region, approaching our farmers, and that we could see a significant land use change if indeed we have large solar here, and without much benefit at all to our economy, if not a detriment, because we locally could never afford to build big solar fields. So they're funded by outside investors, and they lease the land, but they own the systems. And so the revenues of those solar arrays and the electricity that is produced is not coming to our region. And we could do this very differently. And I think that it's a conversation that needs to happen among economic development organizations, the local governments, the farmers, basically everybody within the county. I think that there should be quite the conversation very soon about what we want our county to really be supporting, and what's the highest use of our land, because we have some of the richest soils in the East Coast, and I really worry that they are now in jeopardy.
What do you believe to be an under the radar issue that county residents are facing, and do you have a solution for that?
I believe all of us are, unless we're having our health premiums paid for and whatever insurance policies we have actually have little out of pocket. I think more people than we know of are having private crises about the cost and coverage of healthcare. That it's so runaway and so infrequently really factored into our monthly budgets that it is an expense that can get ahead of us very quickly, and that there are a lot of people that, of all economic strata here, but particularly those that are barely making a living wage, are really suffering, and I think that we have an opportunity to go under and not be able to survive, many not be able to survive, which puts a tremendous amount of pressure on all of our social services. But what we as commissioners can do about it, or what we as individuals or a community can do about it, I'm not really sure, other than probably bringing it out from the closet and instead beginning to talk about what some of these impacts are and at least acknowledge that this is a crisis to be solved.
Why do you believe that Union County voters should select you to become a county commissioner?
Because I have, I believe, a very unique skill set that will be of value to this county and to the region in the years going forward. I'm known in the region as being a clean energy advocate. I've worked a lot with local governments and hospitals and businesses and residents in helping them retain wealth by using less energy and shifting our economy into a more clean energy economy. But before I came here, I was in Washington, D.C. for 12 years. I was in Boston. I was at Harrisburg as Deputy Secretary for Pollution Prevention and Compliance Assistance. I've been a student all my life and a practitioner all my life of good government policy, inclusiveness, being able to identify what the issues are and be able to bring them out and about them and resolve them in an inclusive way. I'd like to see our county government, which I think does a great job. I think our commissioners have done a terrific job, and we've been really blessed with continuity and good, thoughtful commissioners. But I would like to see us be able to engage more with the public at large and being able to understand that our business doesn't start and stop at the county line, and that a lot of influencers are coming in from the marketplace, a changing marketplace, policies, particularly unfunded mandates at the state and federal level, that as a community of a county or whatever special interest there might be, of which we have a lot in this region, I think it will take very creative collaboration to build the future and hold to the future that all of us want to see. And I very much look forward to being able to contribute to that process.
Stacy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.